This is the Professional Stepdad, a place where we share stories, strategies, and ideas for men just like you to help answer that one important question: how can I be a better stepdad? Welcome back to the Professional Stepdad Show. My name is Franco Zavala. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 47. I want to jump right into this because, one, we're gaining momentum. We're gaining momentum with the show, with questions being asked, with fellow stepdads kind of chiming in, sharing their story, sharing their journey, asking questions. That's the objective. That's the whole goal of this show, to try to invoke thought and new ways of thinking as far as family goes and as far as your process and how you approach your journey. So with that being said, if you have not yet, please like, subscribe, share. I would really appreciate it. Obviously, I can only affect the amount of people that I can reach. So I really, really appreciate it if you could do that for me. So let's jump right into it. Wanted to kind of go over a subject that I don't know if I've touched on a lot, but I'm going to just kind of make this episode about it. And that is showing up late to the game. I'm talking to this fellow stepdad, amazing man feels like he's coming in late to the journey, late to the game. And he has such a good head on his shoulders, right? He knows what he wants to do. He knows the kind of effect that he wants to have on his family. And obviously in situations where you are coming in late to the game, it's harder to make that connection with the stepkids or with the kids because you're a stranger. And not only you're a stranger, but you haven't put in the amount of time that it takes to build the trust in order to get to a position where you can have that relationship with the kids in a way that makes you not only feel comfortable, but valued. And a lot of stepdads will go through this, those who show up late to the game. When you're dealing with the teenage kids, when you're dealing with kids that have kind of had this routine and this way of living and this comfortable, like maybe it's uncomfortable, but this feeling that they have with like going to mom's house or going to dad's house, or maybe one of the other's not there, but they're only dealing with one parent. And then in comes you, the stepdad who wants to gain the respect, the trust, the admiration of not only mom, but the family, and the kids being the biggest part of the family portion of that. I mean, obviously you want to gain the respect of everybody in the family, and that's your objective, right? You want to make sure that you're welcomed by everybody. But when you're showing up late to the game, you are going to be finding yourself dealing with obstacles and challenges that a lot of stepdads don't have to deal with, that came early, that have been there longer. But that shouldn't discourage you. That should not discourage you. Is it going to be harder? Absolutely. Do you have to put in more work? Yes. But it's doable. It's definitely doable. Let me tell you the reason why. My oldest daughter, Brinley, when I came into her life, she was going to be 10. And she had this very close relationship with her father, to the point where when I came into the picture, it was like, who the hell is this guy? Who does he think he is, type thing. And it took me a very long time to break down her walls and build that trust with her. But the smartest decision that I made along the way is that I didn't rush it. I knew that in order for me to show my value to my daughter, I was going to have to represent what my value is with her mother and with her siblings. I had to show her that not only was I there to stay, but that I wanted to be there, and that I was going to do everything in my power to gain her trust and the trust of the family. That didn't mean that she immediately welcomed me. That's not how that works. But what I did is I decided that, okay, this is going to be a little bit of an obstacle for me, because she was the closest with her dad, so she's definitely not going to want to accept me. And then you have her sister Emma, who's right behind her in age, who's going to kind of follow suit. She's going to kind of do what her older sister does. The three younger kids was a little bit easier because obviously they were younger. My daughter was 5 and 2, and my other daughter was 2, and my son was 6, 7 months old. But the older girls were definitely a challenge for me, and not only were they a challenge, but because they were so close to dad, that means they were closer to dad's side of the family, which meant that they were getting advice and different types of information about me without me knowing to them that would kind of help like determine how they were going to feel about me, right? When you become a stepdad, when you enter a new family, one of the things that you are going to have to remember is that people want to know why the hell you're there. It's strange. It's really strange. They want to know, well, why can't you why aren't you married yet? Why don't you have kids? Why are you here? What are you trying to gain from this? They believe or they think that you have all these different types of motives, when in reality, we're there because, again, we want to be there. We're there because we have this gut feeling like this is where we're supposed to be. And individuals that are not step parents will never understand this. They don't get it. They will never understand this path and this journey that we have to take. They will never understand the ridicule, the looks, the hatred, the discomfort that we feel when we have to go to events, especially in the early times, where how can I say it the best way? Where most people would probably run from this scenario. We stay. Now, does that mean every step parent stays? No, of course not. Look, one of the reasons that a lot of step parents leave, one of the reasons a lot of stepdads leave, one of the reasons a lot of stepdads choose to not want to deal with all the headache and the worry is because from the get-go, nobody trusts us. Everybody questions our motives, and we don't feel valued, needed, or wanted. And if you're an individual, if you're a bio mom, if you're a mom that is dealing with trust issues and you are consistently comparing us to your past relationship and questioning everything that we do, we could feel it. I'm always talking to you stepdads about you got to be all in. You got to kind of go for the gold. You got to take that 1 foot out the door. And, you have to go all in because that's what the family needs. But there is a flip side to that coin. The moms, bio moms, you have to go all in. Meaning you have to not only want to trust us, but you have to communicate with us so that the trust can be built and not prejudge us and or judge us behind closed doors without ever telling us and comparing us to your last relationships. You can't do that because we'll never win. No matter what we do, we'll never win. And the first mistake we make, you'll say things like, oh, I knew it. Or the family members, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, all these other people. Oh, I knew it. See, I told you he was like that. These little tiny things, even if it's something that wasn't true. You are constantly fighting against the bias and the scrutiny of what it means to be a step parent. And then not only that, here's another thing. Now you're dealing with what the media and what society and what movies and everybody says about step parents, which is we're evil, we're alcoholics, and we're molesters, and all these things. And then God forbid somebody in the family has ever been hurt by a step parent. That's going to stick to you too. But you cannot worry about that. It's a lot easier said than done, guys. You cannot worry about what they're worrying about. You just can't do it. So when you're showing up late to the game and you're dealing with the teenagers, it's going to be a lot harder to make the connection with them to build the trust in order for them to see you as this parental figure in their life. So what can you do, stepdads? Answer simple. Look, you have to work on yourself. You got to do the reading. You got to set the goals. You got to write down your journal. You got to do these things to start building your mental capacity up and this armor around you that is going to help you deflect all the negative crap that's going to come your way. It's not about you, stepdads. I told you that from the get-go. It's not. It's not about you. If you allow the negative shit to to overwhelm your thoughts, you're done. So you have to build up that resistance. And the only way to build up that resistance is to build a mindset that has the capacity and the capability of moving forward with positivity. That's the only way. If you can't do that, you will lose. Well, Franco, I don't have enough time and I'm busy. No, you're not. Everybody has 24 hours in the day. I've got 5 kids and I've got enough time. So what's your excuse? Because that's what we do. That's what we do as humans. We make excuses to not do the things we know good and well we need to do. And then 6 months down the road, we kick ourselves in the ass and we say things like, man, I should have started that. We do that with fitness. We do that with letting go of addictions. With starting new habits, with wanting to start a new career. We always delay the now. Do it right now. Start right now. So you're showing up late to the game. You got to be working on you. You got to be working on you, and you have to right off the bat think, okay, I'm late to the game, which means that I'm going to be the person in the relationship that is absolutely not going to be trusted by anybody. Bio dad, if he's in the picture, bio dad probably won't like me. He will assume that I'm there to steal his family. I cannot let that bother me. No matter what he says in the confines of his home, it should not and cannot affect me on my journey. And the moment it does, he wins. The moment it does, negativity wins. Not everybody's going to like you. That's not your business. Why are you there? We've had an episode about that, right? Why are you there? What's your why? So when you're showing up late to the game, what can you do to secure that feeling like you're moving forward, like you're gaining momentum? Working on yourself, working on that relationship. Look, bottom line is this, stepdads. You want to get through to your teenage daughter? You want to get through to your teenage son? Then build a relationship with their mother that is out of this world. Show them what it's like to just treat her like a queen, to respect and love her, to take care of the house and the family, to not blow up over stupid little things. That's another thing we do, stepdads. See, nobody's trained us. There's no manual for this. So we get into this new family and this new relationship, and we get into this new house, and guess what we do? We tend to do the things that our parents did to us. Yelling, screaming, addictions, habits, chores, all these little tiny things. And those things, if not properly managed, can contribute to the downfall of your journey. Don't worry so much about making the connection with when you're coming in late to the game. Don't. You can't, because then if you start to worry about it so much, you're going to force it. When you force the issue, we all know this. We all know it. We've seen it with our own kids. When you try to force the issue onto your kids, whether if it's forcing them to play, or forcing them to go, forcing them to eat, for whatever, it doesn't work. It never works out in our favor. It never does. Don't force the issue. Don't try to force your way into their life by asking them to kind of just trust me no matter what. You love me no matter what. That's not how it works. But what you can do is lead by example. And the best way to lead by example is to work on yourself. Let them see you working on yourself. Let them see you writing. Let them see you setting goals. Let them see you accomplishing these things. Let them see you building and developing that relationship with their mom. Let them see you treating her just amazing. Let them see you taking care of the house. Let them see you letting things go. They're going to test you. They are going to test you, and then they are going to test you again. And it's going to suck because you are going to want to do something about it. But guess what? If you've worked on yourself, you can tame that reaction. That's why it's so important to work on you. So when you're showing up late to the game, your objective should not be like, what do I have to do to make the connection with my stepdaughter or my stepson or my stepchildren? What do I have to do to make that connection so they can trust me and love me and respect me? That should not be your objective. Your objective should be, what can I do to show them how a man should be, how a husband should be, how a father should be, how a friend should be? What can I do to listen to them and not talk so much? What can I do to try to understand their problems instead of solving their problems? These are questions you have to ask yourself, and then move forward with it. And eventually, over time, it will release itself randomly out of nowhere. And you will have earned that respect. You will have earned that trust. And it will feel so much better. Trust me. I know this from experience. You know, my daughter was 19 years old when she wrote me a letter that kind of like, for the first time, gave me that feeling of she sees me as dad. And it was the best day ever. And it took so many years. But patience is key, guys. And in the meantime, I just had to work on me. I had to work on my relationships. I had to work on my communication. I had to work on how I talk, speak, act. I had to work on listening. That's so important, so key. I had to work on showing, leading by example. So just because you're showing up late to the game doesn't mean you can't win the game. You just have to have a better playbook. And if you're using the old playbook, the inherited playbook that you got from your family, the inherited playbook that you got from your childhood, quit now. It's a loss. It's not going to work. You're going to have good days, maybe. It's not going to work. You got to get a whole new playbook. That means laying a whole new foundation. That means setting whole new standards. That's how you can win, even though you're showing up late to the game. That's it. That's your answer. So I want to encourage stepdads. I want to encourage you to understand that. Like, I'm trying to encourage you here, not discourage you. I'm trying to encourage you because a lot of you that come in late to the game that don't believe that you can ever make the connection with your kids, you're wrong. You give up before you even start. A lot of you believe that you can make the connection, but you try to force the issue. Can't do that either. Let it come over time. Work on you, work on us. Us meaning you and your spouse or you and your partner, and allow natural connection and trust to take its course until eventually it'll release. That I can promise you. Okay, guys, that's it. I hope I brought some value to you today. If you need any assistance on how to start this whole process of working on yourself, step 1, read a book. I'm not talking about freaking, what do you call those books? Like Twilights or Divergence or Mockingbird, any of those. I'm not talking about those books. I'm talking about read a book that's going to stimulate your growth in your mind. Frank, I don't have enough time. Franco, what can I do? Franco, what can I do? Where am I going to find the time to read a book? Read 5 pages a day for the next 6 months and you've got a book done. Come on. There's always time. Put the book in the bathroom. Read it when you go to the bathroom. Put your phone down. I challenge you to see how much time you spend on your phone. Take 5 minutes or 10 out of that time you spend on your phone, and read a book. Work on you. Set goals. Set daily activities. Set daily commitments for yourself. Do everything that is possible and necessary to open up the lines of communication with your partner so that you can build the teamwork that is unbreakable and unstoppable. All right. Okay, guys, if you haven't, please like, subscribe, share. Always humbled, always grateful for everybody that comes to the show, everybody that watches and leaves their remarks and sends me emails. I'm just so happy that I can bring value to all of you. And I plan to continue to do it for years to come. Until next time, talk to you soon.
Quiet on the set, please. Thank you, everybody.